Welcome, everyone. I am Jeff Martin, and I'm the Director of Communications and Public Affairs here at the American Anthropological Association. I am a older white male with graying brown hair, unfortunately more gray than brown. And I am actually reporting to you from my apartment because of the circumstances, but behind me is a Zoom background of a picture window with snow-covered trees in the background, making you think that I'm actually in a cabin in northern Colorado, which is where I would rather be. Although, actually, I'm reporting to you from Washington, D.C., where it's been pretty interesting to be here during the past couple of weeks. Again, welcome to our webinar on Anthro Day and how to help get the word out about what we're all doing. I'd also like to introduce the person who's really behind Anthro Day and all its activities, Gabrielle Dunkley. Go ahead, Gabby.
Hi, this is Gabrielle Dunkley. I am the Communications and Marketing Manager here at the AAA. I'm a Black female with shoulder-length black hair, wearing glasses, and a black floral top. And I'm actually using one of our virtual backgrounds for Anthro Day. It's a light blue background with various shades of circles, and you see our nifty Anthro Day logo in the upper corner and our hashtag, which I want to make sure everyone uses when they're on social, hashtag Anthro Day. And yes, like Jeff mentioned, I'm sort of the person behind the curtain on all things Anthro Day. So if there are any questions or if you have any neat ideas that come up or you want to run anything past us, I'm the person to start with.
Thanks, Gabby. And again, we're going to keep this very informal. It's a nice group we have here. And I also want to say that it's interesting. I recognize a lot of the names. Quite a few of you have been with us for Anthro Day in the past. This started actually only 6 years ago, and we started with 70 participants. And now it's grown to, last year, we had almost 400 participants with Anthro Day, 300 departments alone participating in it. We had 19 countries, anthropologists from 19 countries join us. And we also gave a number of presentations, both on campus and also, I think we had 40 K through 12 schools that people went out to and promoted anthropology overall. It's become a big deal, thanks to all of you. And so again, thank you for joining us today. What we've done in the past were a number of things. People would go out on campus and they would do classroom talks on campus. They would set up booths on campus outside the Memorial Union. They did readings, they had videos, they went out to high schools in the area, which is wonderful. We all know this year is different. We can do a lot of the same things, but a lot of it's gonna have to be virtual. So in just a moment, I'm going to open it up to everyone to help share what you're doing this year. That's one of the main things for having this webinar, so we can share and learn from each other and think of, oh, that's pretty cool. I think I might be able to do that. Hopefully there'll be a lot of examples we can do. What we have done is I'm going to share my screen now and show you the main resource page we have. And Gabby is going to put that URL up in the chat room right now. Again, you all should be familiar with this, but once you come to our Anthro Day resource page, we have a number of items for you to use. As you'll see, there are templates, Canva templates, Zoom backgrounds that Gabby mentioned are there. We have K through 12 and community outreach tools. Again, it helps you how to get started, talking points for elementary school, high school and above, presentation ideas. There are a number of items for you to use. We also have a media toolkit, which you can click on, which helps you with your storytelling and how to talk to the media. The one thing I do want to emphasize is, if you would, the first thing you should do is get in touch with your school radio station and your school newspaper. they're always looking for items, and especially items like this. Let them know that it's Anthropology Day and some of the things you're going to be doing. I almost guarantee they will interview you, and you'll be able to tell more people about anthropology. The whole idea here, there's also activity ideas, posters, and as I said, because of what's happening right now, we're emphasizing a lot of the visual that takes place. The other thing I want to point out too is we do have for you our career videos, and there's a whole series of videos emphasizing the linguistics portion of it, biology, archaeology, cultural. We tried to be specific with them. They are really short. They're only about 3 minutes long each. And I think it's a good idea. It's up to you what you're going to do, but it could be a good idea to maybe start with it or use it to help emphasize, again, who we are, what we do, and how we add value to the community, to society. I'm going to show you really quickly now one of those videos. It's Tricia Wong, and it's interesting because she talks about how anthropology is involved with your identity in social media. So again, it's only a couple minutes. So Scott, would you go ahead and cue that up? I will stop sharing. Go ahead.
My name is Tricia Wong. I'm a global tech ethnographer. I'm the co-founder of Sudden Compass. The way we use technology actually is an expression of our identity. Who I am when I'm in a bar versus at work or when I'm out dancing with my friends is very different. It's the same exact thing when we're using different apps. The way I use Twitter, the way I use Snapchat or Instagram is very different, or Reddit. Human dynamics is actually that we have multiple elastic identities, that we have different selves. And the way I express myself on each app is different. But when you have a bunch of engineers or product people designing an app, they're not thinking about identity, they're just thinking about a bunch of features. And that's why corporations need to bring in people like anthropologists to understand these big concepts. Anthropology gives you those skill sets. You can help companies translate their business question to a human question. This is what I call the flip. Let's just take one of my clients. You know, they were trying to get more people to buy their books. Okay, that's a great business question. But when we translate their human question, which was like, you know, how are people even learning? Why do people buy books? Where did people get information? It completely changed the way they saw their business. And that was how they succeeded. And every company needs help doing this. When I'm really doing my best kind of anthropological field work, is that it's really about me. It's that I'm learning because I'm getting close to people who seem at face value so different, you know, but actually the stuff that they're going through is so common. People are all trying to figure out, you know, how do I do the right thing? How do I make people I love happy? How do I survive? How am I going to get my next meal? What do I want to be remembered for? These are all things that people are thinking about, from the mundane to the complex. And you start to think, oh, okay, like we're all actually super connected, but we're also dealing with different forms of pressure in different ways. These systems that we grow up in, they're actually quite oppressive. I think they can take the life out of you if you do not have the skill sets to question it and to resist it. And then through that resistance, you find a way to live in a way that actually fulfills your values. That's why we need to have more anthropologists, because we need more anthropologists resisting systems and helping us realize that these systems are based off of our choices and that we do have a choice.
Thanks, Scott. Okay, so yeah, you see how quick that was, and it was just a quick access into the world of anthropology and some of the things we do. And I like it because everyone can relate to our social media accounts and the different identities we have. So it's just another, aha, I didn't know anthropologists did things like that. So just another idea for you to use. Obviously, things that are topical. Use the pandemic, if you would. I'm going to, again, try to share my screen and show you that if you want Sapiens, the latest issue of Sapiens, what makes vaccines social? And right now, that's what everyone is talking about, is the pandemic and the vaccines and the anti-vaxxers, and are we going to take it? It's Emily Brunson and Monica Shaxpana from Johns Hopkins wrote this article. It's just something that you can maybe take from and help explain it. So that'll be a good thing to do. We're now going to
You
kind
can
of open.
also,
Go
oh,
ahead.
I'm sorry, Jeff.
ahead.
You can also visit our Anthropology News website to find some pieces to help jumpstart any kind of conversations. We've had special issues on COVID, on the pandemic, but more recently, we had an issue on food that might also be a great starting place to build a lesson around for the day.
Yeah,
and I'll
perfect.
drop that link in our chat.
Thank you, Gabby. I will, that's a good thing to bring up. I will also drop this link into the chat as well to help you with this. But now what we want to do is just make it informal and open it up and ask all of you some of the good ideas that you're using that we can share that others might want to use on Anthropology Day to emphasize the importance of anthropology. While I have my screen still being shared, I want to show you one thing that there's a number of items out there, but one thing I liked was Idaho State is doing an escape room, an anthropological escape room, Mystery of the Misplaced Mummy. And I will drop this in there as well into the chat. But there's video, there's instructions, and already it's got you thinking, all right, I want to see what this is about. So there are a lot of good ideas out there. If we can, I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and open it up. And what I want people to do is don't be afraid. You can now unmute yourself and jump in, and let's hear some of the good ideas that are out there. Who's going to be brave and open up their mic and let us know, hey, here at whatever university, we're going to do this. Anyone want to try?
Is this going to be like class where we have to call on someone, Jeff?
Yes, right. It could be.
I can go.
Go ahead.
I turned my video on or no?
You can, yes, Isabella.
Okay. I'm in the Minorities in Anthropology Club at UC Santa Cruz, and we're doing like a Anthro Day thing. And one of like the events we're doing, it's a live Zoom event where we're doing like a student research roundtables. It's like going to be an informal talk where a bunch of students can share the projects they're working on and stuff.
Oh, very cool. Thank you, Isabella. Who else? I know other people. Eugene.
Hi, I'm from Los Angeles Valley College. I'm the advisor, and part of our society is looking at various New Years. Since February is the Lunar New Year, we're looking at a cross-cultural, well, they're talking about looking into and presenting how different cultures, look at the turning over of a new year. The other idea that they're kicking around is discussing the pros and cons of having a virtual club, since that was a big transition for everybody last year. We lost a lot of participants when we first transitioned in last year. And so we had to pick up the pace last semester with, and so anyway, there was a lot of talk about what's good about what happened and what's bad about what happened. And so they're looking at a way of either using a Padlet or just an open forum through Zoom and sharing that. We already did it once with a couple of other clubs on campus, but we thought we'd extend that. And those are the two main ideas.
Yeah.
But I will say, I really like the video that was just shown. And so I'm going to suggest that, we start incorporating that into our new website. We had to redesign the website to make it more virtual. And like you said, Jeff, more visual. And so those are just some of the ideas we haven't fully developed, but that's why I'm here today. Thanks.
Oh, Fantastic. Thanks, Eugene. Appreciate that. Yes, Sherry.
Hi, afternoon. Thanks for this. I'm really looking forward to hearing some
And
ideas.
if you could, Sherry, you know what else? Make sure for everyone, make sure you introduce yourself. And also, you know what? This is a good practice for accessibility. Give a description of yourself.
Sherry Gibbs from Galen University, and I'm the advisor for the Anthropology Club. I'm a middle-aged white woman with brown hair that's graying, sitting at home in my home office because, like everybody else, or most people, I guess, we're all at home and teaching from home. So yeah, we had a meeting, a virtual meeting the other day to discuss this. And I had mentioned that this was going to be happening. And so I've been looking to see if any of them decided to pop in to get some ideas. But what we've been talking about is doing a couple Facebook Live sessions. There's an organization here that's been doing that and been really successful with, it's a cultural heritage organization. So we're going to have one with a number of our anthropology instructors coming together. So sort of the students will get to interview them to talk about what it is that they do and the importance of anthropology. And then we're going to have one with anthropology graduates from Galen, so they can talk about what they've been doing since they've graduated. And again, sort of an interview with our current students, being able to ask them questions so they can share. And then we're also going to get on, so I'm in Belize, and I'm sorry, I forgot to mention that. So we have a number of morning shows, talk shows that are fairly easy for us to get on. They're always looking for different topics. So that day, Anthropology Day, we're going to do a morning session where we can get on and talk about this. And I really, again, I agreed with Eugene. I really loved that video that you shared, because I will ask them to share that video before or in between we're talking. And again, having some of our students get on to talk about the program, why they were interested in the program, what they plan to do once they graduate. Then we've also talked about, because a lot of the high schools are also online, so we've been talking about seeing if we can find some high school teachers who will let us jump in and maybe take over one of their classes, so we can talk with students about the program, but also just, you know, what it is, get them more familiar with it as a discipline and a possible career choice for them. So that's what we've kind of got going so far. When we did Archaeology Day last October, we got onto a talk show that was aired on TV and was also aired online on Facebook, and I think it was on YouTube as well. And so we just talked about what archaeology is and being in Belize. And so because it's all around us, a lot of the Maya sites, we were able to talk a little bit more and also share too the importance of resource management and people who find and have collections in their home and getting them cataloged. So we were able to do a little bit of show and tell and educate people a little more. So that's our plan though for Anthropology Day this year.
That's perfect. Thank you, Sherry. That's
That
excellent.
sounds great. Oh, I'm sorry, Jeff. One thing I was going to say is like, if you're doing a lot of outreach, and I know, you're still very much formulating your plans, what you want to do. Is this one of the reasons you're here? Make sure you drop us a note. Let us know, clue us in. You mentioned the Facebook Lives. That's something we can absolutely help promote on our Facebook page and on all of our socials. Actually, we have about 85,000 people that actually follow us on Facebook. So just keep us in the know. If you're on social, make sure you tag us and use the hashtag to let us know so we can share what you're doing with others.
Yeah, that's perfect. And Sherry, also, thank you for bringing up a couple of things. I'm glad that your people are interested in utilizing the career videos we have. Gabby put the link up for the YouTube link up on the chat there. So use that. There's, besides Trisha Wong, which is interesting, there's one from an archaeologist in New York City who, with footage, they actually found the bow of a ship underneath the World Trade Center when they were excavating after the Trade Center fell and had to build the new one. They found the bow of a ship, an old ship underneath there. And there's one on that. There's one on from out in LA working with street gangs in LA. I mean, there are a lot of interesting anthropological careers that are showcased on that. So utilize that. The other thing Sherry brought up again is hopefully it'll be easy to get in touch with your university newspapers and radio stations. They're always looking to get people on. You get on first thing in the morning, or even the TV station, it'll help. And it's always a lot of fun. I mean, it's just it's the college station, so it's nothing where it gets really formal. They usually, you just come on and they ask you questions, they open it up. It's a lot of fun. Who else would like to tell us what they're doing, of what's of interest? Anybody? Jessica?
Hi,
Yeah.
I'm a student studying anthropology at the University of Manchester in England. I'm
Hey.
a white student. I'm about 20. I've got curly hair. We've had a few ideas. Nothing is set in stone yet, but we was thinking about trying to create like a movie night or watching some ethnographic film or something together and discussing it. And then from that as well, primary school or junior school, we had show and tell, like someone else said, and link it to kind of anthropology of materiality, and potentially all bring an object, whatever it may be, and discuss that and how that links into our everyday lives.
Ah, perfect. I like that. That is good. The whole thing is the everyday lives. I mean, we all know this. Everyone does this. If they think of anthropology at all. I actually did a film where I went to a local mall and I talked to people and they have no idea. They're like, I think it has something to do with the fingers, bones in the fingers, has to do with the earth. They had no idea. And of course, the old Indiana Jones reference, which comes up time and time again. So anyway, we can show them that, look, we're studying humans every day and in our everyday lives. So that's what we need to kind of enforce. So that'll be great, Jessica. Thanks. Is anyone out there going out to first of all, let me just ask, is anyone actually physically going to a school? Because some people did mention to us that they were allowed to travel to a school it'll be socially distant. Anyone doing that on this call?
Me and Gabrielle, who is also at the University of Denver, we've been in person class since the start of this school year. So we'll do an in-person event or like a hybrid in-person kind of Zoom combination event.
Oh, that's cool. How are you going to do the in-person? How's that set up?
We haven't really figured it out yet, but I think we'll do it mostly outside, kind of like weather permitting, and maybe like set up a few tables so like various groups can like cycle throughout the day.
Ooh, nice. Okay. Thank you. I lived out in Denver, by the way, right across the street from City Park. I miss it. I want to get back out there, as you can tell from my background. Anyone else actually physically going somewhere?
Hi, Jeff. Can I just share? I really liked, I think it was Zoe was sharing that they're going to do some sort of meet in person and have people move throughout the day. We've done this before for archaeology and anthropology days, where we have kiosks sort of set up, or booths, so that students can pass through. So we've done everything from like a linguistic table. So here in Belize, we've had students who Creole is sort of the first language, and so see if they can actually write in Creole, see if they can translate and what Yucatec would be, so English Creole to Yucatec or Spanish to Yucatec. So we've sort of done a linguistic table. Then an archaeology table has been pretty easy for us to set up. We'll have students sort of explain to them a little bit about excavating and that importance. We've also done where we have students, we give them corn seeds and a stick and have them go through like they would plant corn, the old traditional way of doing it, walking with a bag of corn at their side, and then walk with a stick and try to drop the corn in, and if they see how many can get corn actually in the holes, and then they get a prize. For the biological part, we've taken our plastic skeleton out and have them try to reassemble it. For little kids, we have a smaller skeleton where they get sheets of paper and then they sketch out, they draw around the skeleton, and then they get to color it in. Then we've just had sheets where we have kids with finger paint put their handprints all over these sheets. So we have lots of sheets of handprints that now we could sort of use as backdrops. And then also just Q&As where we have like Bristol boards with little questions for students to see if they know answers to their cultural questions within their community. So those are the kind of things that we've done here.
I like that. Thanks, Sherry. I love the idea of dropping the corn into the hole with, walking with a stick and doing that. People would love that. I also know for our World on the Move project about immigration, we actually have a map, and we would have, this was when we're again outdoors, and it would be for young children, but also their parents. They would draw with a marker where their ancestors came from. A lot of times, maybe even just their grandparents, and they would draw a line from Italy over to where they lived, either in Cleveland or Denver or, DC. And they would do that. So that was always kind of a fun little activity, exercise. Anyone else? Sounds like we're getting some really great ideas.
Hello,
Share.
everyone. Hello, I'm Carvalho from Anthropore. We are a group of 4 girls from University of Delhi, India. So we are just planning only. There's one unique idea that we got. We were thinking of sharing the fieldwork experience from our batch, from our senior batch as well, and what our alumni are doing outside India and in India, and make a virtual meet or session talks like that. So we were kind of thinking of those sessions.
Oh, that sounds fantastic. I love it. And I'm glad we always get a couple of clubs from India, which is wonderful.
Thank you.
Yes. Anyone else? Again, these are all really great ideas. Jen, you came on?
Yeah, hi there. I'm Jen Jones, and I'm sitting in northern Minnesota. So we're not going to do anything outside. I mean, we actually could, but we're not gonna. We are, I'm a middle-aged woman, middle-aged white woman, straight hair. So we're pretty much all virtual. So I have a class of seniors in their capstone that are developing some of the things that we're gonna do. And right now it looks like they are gonna do Zoom presentations. There are some freshman seminars on campus, and one of the students has an in with the organizer of that. So we're gonna students are gonna be preparing 10-minute presentations on what is ANTH and that kind of thing, sort of going to class, both to give them practice in speaking. And then these are, since they're freshman seminars, we wanted to reach out to freshmen where they were. And then the other thing they're gonna do is create, so when you dial up the University of Minnesota Duluth website, you have links on the left and you have boxes through the rest of it that are kind of information about different things, often talks or training or various things. And it's apparently, from what I hear, fairly straightforward to get a box. You submit a picture and some text, and then it gets created for you. And then you can have a link from there to other things. So we're the students are gonna develop the text and the links for that. So it'll live on sort of the main university webpage for a little while. I don't know how long it stays up, but so they're working on those kinds of outreach things.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's the first I've heard of such a thing. That's great.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting because, it's like, it ends up being a little window that's, maybe 2 inches by 2 inches or 2 inches by 1.5. And then, so they're just a little glitzy, but then you can connect into, click on more information if you want it. It opens up a bigger box.
It's perfect. And it's through your university.
Yeah,
right?
it's just the main, well, I think it's the main webpage. I think if you're in different colleges, you get some more specialized information, like you might get different boxes, but it'll be for a huge chunk of the university it will be popping up as soon as they log on to the main page.
Oh, fantastic. I wonder how many other universities are doing such a thing.
Well, you know,
Okay,
a
yeah.
student of mine, see, this is the thing, a student who works for MPIRG, which is an environmental group, what is it, public interest research group. I think it's throughout the United States. They do this a lot. So I happen to have a student in class who knows how to do it.
Oh, wow. Okay. That always helps.
Well, most of, you know, certain people, we don't always have the time to figure this stuff out, right?
Yeah, no. Delegate. Thank you, Jen.
I was wondering, do we have any of our podcast collaborators with us today? Perhaps not. I know. So if you're not familiar, AAA actually has a podcast library where we have probably a couple of dozen partners now that host podcasts on various specific disciplines and topics within anthropology. So we've actually partnered with 4 of our podcast partners to produce special episodes and interviews for Anthro Day. We're still, we don't know the exact publication date yet, but we'll absolutely share that with everyone that's signed up here. So be on the lookout for episodes from That Anthro podcast, the Archaeology Show, the Dirt podcast, and Zora's Daughter. And I'll actually post the link to our podcast library in the chat now.
And while we're here, I'll make a quick pitch for Zora's Daughters is also for Black History Month. They are, which is next month, they are going to interview Riche Barnes, who's head of the ABA, the Association of Black Anthropologists. So that'll be interesting. I want to point you in that direction as well. Any other things going on? Gabby, do you want to mention some of the, you had a list of ideas that some people were working on. Do you want to mention some of those?
Sure. So, of course, anyone that signed up, we asked to share anything interesting that they were doing. Some of these might have already been mentioned, but there's going to be an Anthro Olympics, sort of like a quiz bowl for anthropology. Jeff mentioned, of course, the virtual escape room, which I'm just dying to see how they do that virtually this year. A blog that'll feature recent anthropology titles. They're just going to compile some recent topics that they've come across. And of course, Jeff mentioned Anthropology Day coincides with Black History Month. So one of our schools is actually going to do a series of 28 profiles on Black anthropologists, and they're going to post them on their website. So I've been in communication with them, and they said they should be done by the first week of February. So we'll be sure to post that on our resources page and also on social once they're live. So keep on the lookout for that. Let's see. I saw someone was also going to do a lesson focused on Mexican anthropology. So that's someone who just zeroed in on a topic and chose to present that for Anthropology Day. That could be a great starting point in case you feel like you don't want to go too broad. You can focus in on a specific topic. And of course, we have a lecture series on COVID and anthropology, which will just, there's a ton out there right now.
Thanks.
Those are some of the ideas.
Perfect. Okay. Does anyone have anything else of interest they'd like to share? And or let me also say, do you have any questions that perhaps we can answer or help you with? Okay. Well, once again, please do utilize us as a resource. Go to our resource page. Again, in the chat room, we have a number of links for you to use for videos and posters and just great ideas, overall great ideas. And I think that's basically all we needed to cover. We don't need to take up a full hour any more of your time. One last time, does anyone have any questions or anything they'd like to share with us?
Hi, hello.
Yes.
This is Utkarsh Srivastava from India. We are
okay.
from Banaras Hindu University. We have Varanasi. We have opened a anthropological society, Alliance Society, and we are planning to do a webinar on the topic of what is the present condition of anthropology in Indian academics.
Mm,
and how anthropology could be bridge gap between science and social science.
okay,
Uh,
that'll be interesting. I'd like to hear about that.
Thank you. You are welcome. We'll share
Yeah.
a link. Sure.
You know what? If you would, please do share that link with us.
Of course, we will share. Definitely, we will share.
That's
We are
fantastic.
also looking for a speaker for this event who could just collaborate with us on our
Okay.
society.
Okay, well, send that information to
You could send that to me.
Okay, send it to Gabby.
Yeah.
Gabby, do you
I'll,
want to put your email
Sure.
address in?
We will put that.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
Gabby, are you gonna share your email? I thought you were gonna put your email in the chat room.
We have got the email.
Oh, they already
we
have
have
it.
got the email. We have got
Yeah,
the
yeah.
email. Thank you so much, Pia.
Sure. Everyone has Gabby's address. She's our social media guru.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay, anyone else? If not, then, okay. I think we can wrap it up then. Thank you again. Eugene, you're on. Do you want to say something? Go ahead.
Yeah, as you're signing off, I just wanted to say that, this was very helpful. I mean, I'm kind of excited, and it's good because, when you're stuck at home, kind of in a shell, I feel connected now that there's a bunch of people doing a bunch of stuff. So, next time I meet with the students, I have something to share, but I think I can share some energy too, because, the last month, it's just kind of like, I wonder what everybody's doing, what's going on. And so this is exactly what it is. I'm just saying, for me, I'm glad I logged on, and thanks for doing it.
Hey, well, fantastic. Thank you, Gina. We do appreciate this. This is something that we're going to do going forward, is have this kickoff and have more people discussing what we can do. Again, apologies as we are not sending out swag this year. I know people love the t-shirts we did and some of the stickers and bookmarks and things we came up with. We do have some of those in very limited amounts, but next year, fingers crossed, we'll have at least a more hybrid Anthropology Day. And I am looking forward to maybe it's just a complete in-person Anthropology Day. So thank you all for attending. Again, you have our emails. We are less than a month away and we're all excited. And I'm hoping you're excited about this too. It's always fun to get the word out there, again, about who we are, what we do, how we add value to our communities. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Happy Anthropology Day early.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, everyone.